Seatbelts are the biggest component which prevents car crashes from becoming fatal car crashes. Whether young or old, everyone should wear a seatbelt every time they get into a car. Wearing a seatbelt is the most effective and easiest way to prevent serious injuries or death to anyone inside your car. People are not wearing seatbelts nearly as much as they should. Buckling your seatbelt should be the first thing you do every time you get into any motor vehicle. However, we all know somebody that never wears their seatbelt no matter what the circumstances are. Today I want to persuade you on the problem that people are not wearing their seatbelts every time they get into a car, which is resulting in many injuries or death. And the solution, that everyone should put their seatbelts on as soon as they get in the car to prevent these such injuries. There's never a good reason as to why someone shouldn't wear their seatbelt. Many people come up with excuses to defend their decision not to wear their seatbelt. According to Anne-Marie Hayes' Learn to Drive 10 Reasons Why Teens Don't Wear Seatbelts, teenagers use many excuses as to why they don't wear seatbelts whenever they drive a car or whenever they are in a friend's car or anything like that. Going down the block, seatbelt being uncomfortable, and nobody else does it are some of the main reasons or excuses that teenagers don't wear seatbelts these days. Whether you're going on a road trip or just backing your car out of your driveway, a seatbelt should always be buckled. Research indicates that most accidents occur within the first 3 miles of home. Therefore, there is no distance too short to not wear a seatbelt. Once again, there's no good excuse as to why you shouldn't wear a seatbelt. Buckling up needs to be a habit that we all do every time we get into the car. There should never be a time where you question yourself if you need to wear a seatbelt or not. It should be something you do every time you get into your vehicle. Wearing a seatbelt is a routine that needs to be established at a young age. According to an article, Seatbelts by Safe Kids, 10,421 children were saved by seatbelts between 1975 and 2013. When adults wear seatbelts, kids wear seatbelts. So be a good example and role model every time you have younger children or even children growing up in their teens and mid-age, just so they follow your example. Children sitting on a parent's lap is not okay because it does not offer the necessary protection for that children. Children shouldn't be in the front seat until the age of around 13, but it depends on size, give or take, either way. Booster seats, over the shoulder, and lap belts offer the best protection for children and even for adults, excluding the booster seats. Some people don't wear seatbelts because they feel that it can cause more harm than help. According to Marula Krishnan, why people don't buckle up their seatbelts every time they ride in a car, some feel that they may get trapped in a burning car following a crash, or some also believe that if they, for some reason, roll over, that they'll get stuck hanging upside down. Also, some believe that it's better to be thrown clear from their car than staying in the vehicle itself. However, research also indicates that being thrown from a vehicle leaves one 4 times more likely to receive a fatal injury than it would be to stay in the vehicle. I can relate to this because I have the family member who feels the same way and believes these facts aren't true. She was involved in a rollover crash and was ejected out of her vehicle and luckily was okay. However, this leads her to believe that if she would have had a seatbelt on, the seatbelt around her neck would have severely injured her or also included in death, is what she believes. So from now on, she doesn't wear a seatbelt at all, no matter what we say. This problem can be solved by influencing everyone to buckle up every time in the car. So whether you're driving, whether you're a passenger, whether you're sibling, family, friends, whatever, make sure everyone is buckled up, especially when you're hitting the road. In order for people to start taking wearing a seatbelt seriously, they need to be shown statistics. According to Seatbelts Get the Facts from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than half of people who died in crashes in 2014 were not wearing their seatbelts during the time of the crash. Seatbelts have saved around 12,800 lives in 2014, so something as simple as just buckling up saves that many lives a year. Next, primary enforcement laws also help improve the number of people using their seatbelts. For example, seatbelt use in 2015 was 91% in states that have primary enforcement laws, while only 79% in states that do not. According to seatbelt laws from the Governor's Highway Safety Association, 34 states have primary seatbelt laws for front seat occupants, 15 states have secondary laws, and 28 states have rear seat laws requiring the use of a seatbelt for any rear passengers in your vehicle. Finally, parents need to ensure that everyone in the car is buckled up before they hit the road. First off, you'd never want to place a rear-facing child safety seat in front of an airbag. So an airbag will actually cause harm to those not of age. This is why we say that children under the age of 13 or smaller size should sit in the back seat, just so they don't have this harm of airbags hurting them more. Next, you want to ensure that newborns or small-sized babies always face the rear of the vehicle and correct booster seats. You want to make sure they fit them correctly, and you want to make sure everything is buckled up correctly before you take off. And finally, children are more likely to fall into peer pressure, especially when it comes to seatbelts. You hear it all the time. You hear them say, if their friends aren't doing it, then why should they do it? It's just they feel like they don't need to do it, or they will be unpopular if they wear seatbelts when their friends aren't. Wearing a seatbelt does nothing but give you extra protection in any crash or wreck. Most of the time, there's no harm in wearing a seatbelt. It'll only protect you from any severe injuries or death. That's the problem, is that there's too many people not wearing their seatbelts when riding in a motor vehicle accident. This problem can be solved by simply making sure everyone in your car is buckled up before taking off. Front seat, back seat, doesn't matter. Everyone should be buckled up no matter what seat they have in the car. There are too many people losing their lives each year from motor vehicle accidents because of not wearing seatbelts. With such a simple solution, we all need to do our part and ensure that this number goes down. So I ask you, next time you're in a motor vehicle, ask yourself if not wearing a seatbelt is worth the risks. The more seatbelts worn, the less lives we lose each year. All it takes is a couple minutes to ensure that everyone is buckled up. Okay, good.